Good morning, everyone, in Australia and elsewhere, and good afternoon in North America and Mexico, South America. I would like to welcome everyone to this very special teachings on Mahamudra. So today is the first day I'm teaching Mahamudra, and I will be teaching Mahamudra every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. British Columbia time for a month of October, November, December. So then we'll see after December what happens. Depends on situation. Things are always, as you know, changing in this world. So today I will give more or less introduction to Mahamudra, introduction to Mahamudra in the Giluk tradition. What is Mahamudra and why do we need to practice it? Mahamudra is ultimate nature of the mind. Intrinsically, it is pure and empty of inherent nature, pure awareness, luminous, and spacious. So, as I said, Mahamudra is ultimate nature of the mind, which means the true nature of the mind. When you try to understand what is the true nature of the mind. So the true nature of the mind is, as I said, pure and empty of inherent existence, luminous and clear and spacious. True nature of the mind is clear, and the Buddha said, mind does not exist within the mind. The true nature of the mind is clear. In Tibetan, we say, Semla, Semmanchi, Semji Rajini, Salva Wo. So, Semla, Semmanchi means when you look at the mind and you analyze, when you investigate, you cannot find the mind other than the observer mind. That is why I called Semla, Semmanchi. Mind doesn't exist within the mind or other than the observer mind. Semla, Semmanchi. Semji Rangjin, which means the nature of the mind. The nature of the mind is clear light. Semji Rangjin Savao. Clear light, which means it doesn't have a defilement, mental defilements, doesn't have a delusion, it does not have klesha, which is Sanskrit word, delusions. Inherently, of course, it means inherently. And also, if you look at the mind, see where is the delusion? For example, if you have a kind of dominating, or if you have a strong defilement, certain kind of defilement, and it comes and goes, right? Say let's say fear or anxiety, and you know that you have fear and you have anxiety, but when you meditate on Mahamudra, or when you meditate and when you observe, when you search, where is that anxiety? And when you search, you can't find the anxieties. You can't say, you cannot pinpoint. Say, this is the anxiety. You can't. Then it sort of dissolves. It sort of dissipates. It's sort of not there. So that's why we say sem manchi. So mind doesn't exist within the mind. Tumanamni lower. Sem yusawa. Tumanamni lower. So it says the defilements are temporary. Low urwa Tibetan word. Tokela low wasigaru. Low means the topja gujal pena timba yunga ani mugwa lang nanshin chene topja go yungu yoris low was. And yan in rotary yomari. It's like similar also lower means it arises like a cloud and it arises like a fog and then it sort of disappears. You see, like clouds come and they never stay in one place always. They just keep going, right? And clouds, all mist or fog like this. Our mind never stay in the same place, always coming and going. And so this is the nature of the mind. This is the meaning of lack of inherent existence. And so the true nature is luminous and spacious. Okay, so now the question here, why do we need to practice Mahamudra? Okay, the answer is because Mahamudra is very profound teaching, very beautiful teaching. It is most beautiful meditation, and basically anyone can practice Mahamudra, and you don't have to have a lot of preparation. Although traditionally we do have preparation, we have preliminary practice, but I'm saying that if you are inquiring and if you want to know what is Mahamudra, you like to know what is like when you meditate on Mahamudra, what sort of flavor you get, what sort of feelings you get, what sort of benefit you get, and you don't need a lot of preparation. You can meditate as long as you get the right, you get the correct instructions. This is necessary. Otherwise, you don't know what the result will be, what the outcome will be. You have to have right, correct instruction according to the teaching of Mahamudra, according to the lineage of the Mahamudra. And so the true answer is that Mahamudra is the very heart of Buddha's teaching. Mahamudra reveals the true essence of the mind and the clarity and the cognizes. Mahamudra practice is wonderful because it slows down or slows up, down, or slow down your mind. I said the word up and down. So because our mind goes up or down, right? So when our mind goes up and down, our mind sometimes goes really fast, like you're going up to the elevator. Sometimes your mind going down very fast, like you're coming down the elevator. But when you practice Mahamudra, and if your mind is going up, it will help you go slowly. If your mind is going down, it will help you go down slowly. If your mind stays somewhere, it will help you to stay there firmly, comfortably, peacefully, without problems, without emotional problems, without negative emotions. So it slows down. And you can see through Mahamudra meditation, one can see things as they are, as they really are. Okay. Mahamudra's meditation that enables us to recognize that the true nature of all things, not only the mind, but also true nature of all things, what we call emptiness of phenomena. So, true nature of oneself, true nature of one's own mind, true nature of oneself is called the emptiness of personality, and true nature of all phenomena is called emptiness of phenomena. So you realize all phenomena are empty, no inherent existence. At the same time, all phenomena are dependent arising. And through the meditation of Mahamudra, you will realize the dependent arising and emptiness are one. Dependent arising, emptiness are like the two sides of the coin, or you could say two sides of the door. One side of the door is entrance, the other side of the door is exit. Okay, and or you can say like the hand. One side of the hand, you see, you have one side of hand. This is the inside of the hand. This is the back side of hand. Still same hand, right? You have two different shapes, two different kind of colors, and so on. So still same hand. So I'd like to say a few words about emptiness. What is emptiness? And what is dependent arising? So we talk about a lot about emptiness, right? Emptiness this, emptiness that. Emptiness is not nothingness. We're not talking about just empty. Otherwise, you will you won't get any realizations because all empty, right? And one must experience. One might experience a nihilistic view, which is incorrect, right? So emptiness doesn't mean nothing. What it means, emptiness of inherent existence or emptiness of truly existence. There's nothing truly exists. Nothing is inherently exists. That is why it's called emptiness. At the same time, emptiness is dependent arising. Dependent arising means everything, all phenomena dependent on cause and effect. And cause and effect. Everything, what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we eat, what we do, everything dependent arising. For example, day and night dependent each other, and light and shadow, and summer and winter, and so on and so forth. It's all interdependent, right? And you wake up in the morning, you eat breakfast. How do you eat breakfast? You have to make some tea, you have to cook the porridge, or you make the egg or the toast, whatever you are doing by your hand. You have to pay attention, you have to light the fire, then you have to cook. So that is the kind of art of making the breakfast, right? So this is all that art is dependent on your mind, dependent on what are you doing, how are you doing, and that's why it's called dependent arising. Otherwise, breakfast doesn't show up itself suddenly. It doesn't show up on your table, right? It's like a magic or whatever. Even if you go through fast food and drive through, you still have to drive there. You have to pay. You have to pick up the food. You go through the fast way. Drive through, right? Still dependent. Everything dependent on many things, many factors. This is why we call dependent arising. Okay, so um, um, dependent arising, emptiness are one. Now I would like to talk about the literal meaning of Mahamudra. There is a famous text in Tibetan tradition is called a drop of the great seal, like a stem, seal, drop of the great seal. Tibetan word is chakchen tigli. Tā ngā tsū pōki tēne chāchī chimbōki kōla pēchī chī yōre, tī pēchī tī sēn lā chakchīn tīkli shuā chī tuwa. Tī kī kārso chāchī chimbōki kārso tā mō jī pēchā kērā shī shū chī imbanda sēn rēdō, rēshā. So, chakchīn tīkli, Mahamudra. Maha is Sanskrit word, means great. Maha also it means large or famous or popular. There's different meanings. Maha, usually, literally, Maha means great. Maha Mudra, Mu is Sanskrit word, means wisdom of emptiness or voidness or emptiness. Mu. This is why in the Zen tradition, they ask question, Mu, what is Mu? And then disciple has to give an answer, what is Mu? And the great Mu, the famous Mu, okay? Mu means basically emptiness, great emptiness, Maha, Mu. Dra is liberation. Liberation from samsara, from the world, and when you practice the great Mu, the voidness, then your mind will be liberated from samsara, from cyclic existence, from wheel of life. So this is the meaning of Mahamudra. Okay. Mahamudra is Mahamudra teaching was taught by the Buddha himself at Vulture's Peak Mountain in India, at the Magadha Kingdom, northeast of Bodh Gaya, the holy place where Buddha obtained enlightenment, which is Bodh Gaya, and the Vulture's Peak Mountain is east of Bodh Gaya, where Buddha taught Prajnaparamita Sutra, perfection of wisdom. There are 3 different versions of Prajnaparamita Sutra: the 100,000 verses, 20,000 verses, and 8,000 verses, and Heart Sutra. I should say a few words in Tibetan. We have some Tibetan friends here. 다 자제 전부기 다 공수거라 자제 전부 공대 네 도진딩 두스므레 시라비 파르시면 도제 단도 가서 봄 쇼로간 봄 담바 주니 아니 니치 쇼로가 니치치 된 제동바 쇼로가 제 아니 다 두두테 시라비 힘버와 다시 자제 전부기 자와서 나면도 공대 시라지 파르시면 도 안진딩 두숨데 차지 좀 공대 다자가 또 메시지도 shago 공부를 아니 choji 콜로 타마데 코나 타마사 링어데 정거 choji 콜로 당바 와라나실 정거 당번 악소 코나 이바데 jago 공부를 시징도 숨바데 되네 양바지야 되네 가쇼다 choji 콜로 숨바데 코나로. Okay, so Mahamudra is the essence of Buddha's teaching, as I said. It is the essence of the teaching of Buddhas of the past, essence of the teaching of the Buddhas of the future, essence of the teaching of the Buddhas of the present time. Why do I say that? Because The essence of the Buddha's teachings are past, present, future, all one. Why is one? Because past, present, and future are one. Without past, there's no present. Without present, there's no future. It's all one. And also, what happens in the past in the world, what happens now, what is happening in the future, what will happen in the future, will be more or less the same thing. Samsara repeats same thing. Like we have saying in English, history repeats by itself. Like that, samsara also repeats itself. We have Lojong practice called the wheel of sharp weapon by Dharmarakshita. And so wheel of sharp weapon turning. It's turning all the time. Samsara turning. So there are different karmas, different things happening, many different things happening. But more or less, basically, it's the same thing. So therefore, the teachings of the Buddha in the past, present, and future are more or less same. And some things are different, but basically the same thing. So the Mahamudra is the essence of the teachings of all Buddhas of the past, present, and future. And it is the great path. It is a way to enlightenment, path to enlightenment. It is the path to obtain enlightenment. So now I would like to say a few words in Tibetan. Ta chaji chimbo di chubun jiti shidongi karso nyingbo. Ane debe sanji tadaga sanji tade sanji maombe sanji tamji gitene karso ngai chyo songwa tigi chyo karso yona karso ngai sangmaya gitene da karso dodo nyingbo di oda chaji chimbo re meresi da ngishuyo da yan debe sanji da tade sanji da maombe sanji chyo songwa kanga chikpa chijare singe la wiyo mare manda yoro ena maomba la jawa chamba pewe kala ndo mada ngak chyo songwa me songwa re ati da dajak domba shajetuwa ne mandela ene ngak donga niga yoro wa. So I'm not saying the teachings of the Buddhas of the past, Buddhas of the present, the Buddhas of the future are, I'm not saying they're exactly same. No, it is not same exactly. For instance, the Buddhas of this time, the Shakyamuni Buddha taught Sutra and Tantra both. But future Buddha, the Maitreya Buddha, will only teach Sutra. He will not teach Tantra. The reason the Maitreya Buddha will not teach Tantra because there will be no disciples, suitable disciples, or who will understand Tantra. And also because society is different, time is different, the environment will be different, and the congregation will be different. And maybe there is no suitable disciples who could comprehend Tantra, or maybe there will be no, maybe you don't need tantric teachings that time when Maitreya Buddha come to the world. Maybe it is not necessary to have tantric teachings because sutra teaching is good enough to become enlightened, right? So it all depends on the time, depends on the environment. So now I will go to the Mahamudra itself. There are different levels of Mahamudra, a different way of teaching the Mahamudra. According to Tibetan tradition, Mahamudra taught according to the Kagyu tradition and Gelugpa tradition. It is very popular in the Kagyu tradition because Milarepa, the great enlightened master, teacher, Milarepa taught Mahamudra, and Gampopa and was one of the main teachers of the Mahamudra. And Gampopa's disciples, Pamotuba, and so forth. So all the different sects of the Kagyipa tradition taught Mahamudra. Mahamudra is very popular. In the Gelug tradition, Mahamudra is also popular, and there are some misunderstandings. Some people thought that according to Gelugpa tradition, we don't practice Mahamudra, and that is not the case. We do practice Mahamudra, and we have two lineages of Mahamudra: long lineage and shorter lineage. The long lineage come from Dorje Chang, Telopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Gampopa, and so on and so forth, and through the Kagyu masters, then to the Gelug masters. And the shorter near lineage is come from directly Manjushri. Manjushri taught Mahamudra to Lama Umapa Bawa Dorje. Lama Umapa Bawa Dorje taught Mahamudra to for Lama Tsongkhapa. Tsongkhapa taught for his disciples, Togden Jambal Gyatso and Paso Chuji Gyaltsen, and so on and so forth. I should say a few words in Tibetan. So, 당한 저 차지 첨부디 거주 남주 제시 총지 딱 거주 냠리 쉬우지 남고요 남 냠리 조직 차지 첨부로 되네 다 차지 첨부 뒤집어도 용서 도지 창대 떨로 봐 되네 나 나로지 말바지 멜라 레바 감보바 까마바 두숨쳔바 어두신 마마마 파모투바지 두수스다 마주니 단다버 주바 만년바요 거주를 요래 거주 세대 까 산지가 까 마 셰네 셰지니 지 마주니 마용와 인자니 거주 요로 까세 어디스 가서다 닌주지 거주스나 닌주지는 저는 지바래 어두스 so 내가 간주 주바지 두 내가 간주 길루라 마죠 야 니주 투모마이 정벌라 맞zon가봐 아니 또네 아가쇼탄다 라마 오마발 마송 라마 오마발드니 가쇼다 영월라 맞zon가봐시 두신데네 또네 잠바죠 두첸슈도지 바수슈지 두신 마마다 예 역세순 두스 마주니 어두신다 안도 가든 닌주다 가든 닌주스도 어딘데 닌주든 투블 가든 투블리범스도 투블리범 세야데 징니마 셰니마 닌주 제비 주바데레 그 투블리범 세요마 세요 아 투블리범 세지 베제지 도도지 도와지 베샤 선데지 도와지 요멘도스 근데 상고요 근데 이 시그르 왔다 근데 요진 엔통 많이 lama ngarang tsawe lama so tene sungudu kade ninju tubili masiate ninju tubili bomseate ligom se lavar matata ni ma juni ma du ninju ji lama sheni ma yuden lome amjona ma sen dene ma ya loma de korangi sheni ma du chen du sune ni du ma jibatel kade ninju and truly wants to give that in Sunguyor. That in reason, Chaji Chimbote, Tagarin Hiju, truly one race in a Chuchogiore. So, in the Gelug tradition, we have Gandhian air whisper lineage teaching. This is one of them, Gandhian air whisper lineage teaching. And we also have another concept word called Truviligvam, manifestation text. So sometimes people think, oh, there is some kind of text that is hidden somewhere, like buried somewhere in the Gandhin mountain or maybe in Sera Debong, somewhere, a holy place, somewhere. Maybe one of the gurus are keeping this text and he put in a safe somewhere. And you sort of fantasizing, right? I used to fantasize myself. And I used to think when I was a kid, young Tulku, I used to think, oh, it would be nice to see that text. I wonder who's got that text. and but then I realized, oh, I don't think there is a text, and so the manifestation text, I think it's just word text. It's like, you have many words in computers, and like that, and modern technology, and we have many words, like this kind of words we use. But I think the real the manifestation text is the oral tradition, unbroken oral instructions that is taught by Manjushri to Lama Umaba and Lama Umaba to Lama Tsongkhapa, and Tsongkhapa taught to his disciple, all the way down to now. And this lineage is still live, fresh. I know it is live because I got the lineage, and my colleagues, my friends, other Rinpoches, Geshis, they have the lineages here in India, lineages in Tibet, in Canada, and America, and Europe, all over the world now. It will never disappear because now we have technology, the teaching, and lineages here. So the Gandhian True Ligvam, the manifestation text is here, and which is wonderful. I am very pleased myself. I know that the teaching will never disappear, and nowadays we have a technology which is great. You can save it, and as long as there's electricity and so on and so forth, you can save it. So, okay, so now, earlier I said there is another lineage, that Mahamudra lineage, that come down from the Kagyu tradition to Gelug tradition, right? And I did not mean the Gelug tradition Mahamudra is kind of derived from the Kagyu. That's not the case. And the Gelug Mahamudra is actually mainly the essence of Gelug Mahamudra is taught by Manjushri himself. Manjushri is a disciple of Shakyamuni Buddha to Lama Omaba, Pawa Dorji, and Lama Tsongkhapa. So we do have authentic Mahamudra teaching. And I composed, as you know, most of you know, I composed a translated book. I translated Mahamudra teachings from the Gelug tradition, the commentary by, based on commentary by first Panchen Lama, Losang Chuji Gyaltsen, the great Panchen Lama, the most important guru in the Gelug tradition. He was the lineage holder of the Sutra and Tantras, first Panchen Lama, Losang Chuji Gyaltsen. He was the most important teacher in the Gelug tradition, throughout history. First Panchen Lama, Losang Chuji Gyaltsen, was guru, root guru of the fifth Dalai Lama, Ngawang Losang Gyatso. He was, first Panchen Lama was root guru of the fifth Dalai Lama. Okay. And so the Panchen Lamas, previous Panchen Lamas, and the Dalai Lamas have very unique relationship, very beautiful relationship, guru-disciple relationship. And so I composed and translated this book, Gelug Mahamudra, the eloquent speech of Manjushri. Here, this book. You can purchase this book, or you can also order from Amazon.com. And the quality of the book at Amazon.com is not the same as this one. This book has a beautiful illustration, color photos of Manjushri's and my root guru, Jabji Trijang Dorji Chang, Jabji Song Rinpoche, and also there's images of Manjushri and beautiful digital images. At one, you can order one from Amazon. It's a not color one. It's a black and white, but it's cheaper. So it's up to you as you like. I know many people already have this book. So I taught Mahamudra. I composed this book on Mahamudra based on first Panchen Lama Losam Chu Gyaltsen's commentary, and also great Gelugpa master, Kachin Yeshi Gyaltsen, Gongtang Tempe Dome, Chultrim Nyima, and Sharat Kaldin Gyatso, 4 great masters. Okay, first Panchen Lama, Kachin Yeshi Gyaltsen, Gongtang Tempe Dome, Chultrim Nyima, actually 5. Sharat Kaldin Gyatso. So there's a little bit commentaries on Mahamudra by all the 5 great teachers. Okay. So now the Mahamudra, there are different levels. Okay, first what we call the ground Mahamudra and the path Mahamudra, and result Mahamudra. So this is very important. One should know. So we have saying in Tibetan tradition, receiving teaching or having the teaching on Mahamudra is not enough. The person who the practitioner himself or herself has to become Mahamudra practitioner. 당원도 포켓라 인도송고라 남주 최 조바 친구 매회 강사 조바 친구 구스 대나시 최 차지 친구 매회 아니 강사 차지 친구 구스고 가이스는 최 조바 친구지 조바 친구 깨가 친구 여러 이 조바 친구지 야여 매여리 조바 친구 이슈 아니 이슈 매니 이슈 가서간 이슈 이슈한테 야고래 이나 냠래 맞이나 아니 펜도 용거 펜도 용말 된나시 자체 전부대 깨라 전부 자체 전부스도 다 야진 지슈 맞은 슈 지슈 슈 야구래 이나 냠래 맞이나 펜도 게 용말 저 냠래 맞이 외체 아니 망고지 슈되네 야 최대 거야기 닌가요 먼저 보게 돌아서요 최대 가서 멘돌스 Marco Margi Kasata Mitursigunata the Marco in a Marma Kaso Mutumsa or Marco Matum to Mareche because Marco the Towisha Marco Ingba the Yantina Marlun Derochi Yomare and then Papa Savachi Majuna Yungo but there is Chode Kos, Cho Mamushi Yamle Majane, Chode Kos, Karsigerson, Otanga Chu Mangushu, Shuni, and Dixons, Yamlin Chilachego, Mandu, Marachu, Shusha the day, Tiki Chugich Love, Sanjan Dugri, something Majavs on the Power Chin, Tenichi Yungor, Tenichin, Kalakachi, Yungdua, Mingo. So they're saying, having the Dzogchen Chenpo, Dzogchen is receiving the teaching is not enough. You have to practice. If you don't practice, then if you keep receiving teachings again and again and over, Mahamudra or Dzogpa Chenpo, Dzogchen or Tantra, Mantra, whatever, you could receive teachings whole your life, like say next 20 years or 30 years, right? Or whatever. Or you have received teaching in the past 10, 20 years. Next remaining your life years, you can receive so many teachings. But if you don't practice, then it doesn't really do much. Then actually what happens is sometimes is sort of you kind of mislead yourself. You feel, oh, I got so many teachings, I received so many teachings, and I wrote a book, I wrote a note. I got 300 pages note, I got 400-page notes, okay? I am the note wala, and I got lots of notes. I'm very good. I have got enough teachings, right? So I received so many teachings, so many initiations, and then somehow the blessing of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha will make me become enlightened. You kind of have this sort of wrong perception, misunderstanding, or sort of wrong kind of pride, wrong pride. So merely receiving teaching, gathering teaching is not enough. So you have to practice. Likewise, receiving Dzogpa Chimbo, Dzogchen teaching, Mahamudra, this and that, it is not enough. You have to practice. One has to integrate into one's own mind stream, and otherwise not enough. So, okay, the first, now I should introduce here, ground Mahamudra. What is ground Mahamudra? Ground Mahamudra, which is present within all sentient beings. This is the awareness that the nature of the mind has no inherent existence, as I mentioned before. Emptiness, vast, spacious, and uncreated awareness without beginning. So our mind is ground Mahamudra. And the foundation of the very foundation of Mahamudra is our mind. Our mind is vast, empty, and spacious, uncreated awareness. We have the awareness. The mind is awareness, and uncreated and untaught. Did anybody taught about awareness of the mind? Not really. And you have awareness of your mind. You know your mind, and the mind has no beginning. Mind has no end. If you're trying to find out where is the beginning of my mind, you'll never find it. You could say, well, my beginning of my mind is the beginning of my birth during the conception, and like the beginning of the body, then beginning of mind. Maybe that this body and mind created at the same time. This mind and body come from the sperm and egg. No, that's not the case. And body is yes, but not the mind. Mind came from the previous life and from beginningless. There's no beginning. You cannot point finger. You will never find the beginning of the mind. Scientists will not find the beginning of mind. Of course, how do scientists know about beginning of mind? They probably don't even believe what is mind. I mean, believing is not out of question, but they don't even talk about mind, right? So let's say yogis or clairvoyant or psychic person, you ask, where is the beginning of mind? He or she won't know. If Nostradamus live here, you ask him, do you know the beginning of mind? Nostradamus wouldn't know. Otherwise, Nostradamus might have already said in his book, this is the beginning of mind. This is the trouble of all the cause of all the problems. And he never talked, I don't think he talked about it. And Carlos Castaneda, did he talk about beginning of mind? No. Did Lobsang Rampa talk about beginning of mind? No. Well, Lobsang Rampa and Carlos Castaneda, they're not philosophers. They're not philosophers. What about Wanga? Wanga, the famous Bulgarian clairvoyant woman. And what did she say? She never said beginning of mind. So if you go to the YouTube or Google, search Wanga, you'll find this blind woman. She tells everything about what's happening in the world last 10 years and the last 2 years. And I think she already predicted this pandemic, COVID-19. That's what my friends told me. The Wanga, the Bulgarian woman, lady, the Bulgarian Baba, and Baba Wanga. Baba Wanga tell you everything. And so did she talk about beginning of mind? I don't think so. Did she talk about end of the mind? No. Oh, what about other? Yeah, the Wanga is just Wanga, Bulgarian Baba. But what about Mahasiddhas, 80 Mahasiddhas, Tantric Buddhism? Or what about those great scholars, Nagarjuna, Asanga, Chandrakirti, and so on and so on? Did they say this is the beginning of mind? No, there is no beginning mind. There is no end of the mind. Even the Buddha did not say this is the beginning of mind. This is the end of the mind. There is no beginning. There is no mind and no end. It's like space. The space of beginning? No. Space of end? end? No. So, but the mind is mind. Mind is always there. This is kind of the mysteries of the mind. This is the beauty of the mind. So if you find the beginning of mind, then it's not so exciting, right? And if you find the end of the mind, then it's not so interesting. I think for me, I like not to know the beginning of the mind and not to know the end of the mind. And it's not because I don't want to know, because there is no beginning, no end of the mind. And so okay, this is the ground Mahamudra. Then the path Mahamudra. Path Mahamudra is cultivating the method of Mahamudra. The method of the Mahamudra that is passed down by the teacher, the Buddha Shakyamuni, Shariputra, Manjushri, Lama Uma Babawa Dorje, Lama Tsongkhapa, and so forth, and also Nagarjuna, Asanga, and Chandakirti, and Dharmakirti, and Marpa, Milarepa, Gampopa, and Karmapa, and Tusum Shempa, and so forth. Those great lamas taught, okay, explained. We have this unbroken lineage, okay, and this is the path, Mahamudra. This path will lead us to obtain the realization of Mahamudra. This is the path, Mahamudra. Then the result, Mahamudra. What is the result, Mahamudra? The result, Mahamudra, is Dharmakaya that we can achieve through following the example of all the previous great lineage gurus. Result, Mahamudra. So one can achieve result, Mahamudra, step by step. So as I said, Mahamudra meditation is awareness and understanding of the true nature of the mind. So we have to meditate on Mahamudra. And when we meditate on Mahamudra, your consciousness or your mind will merge into the state of Mahamudra. In other words, your mind will merge into voidness, and your mind will experience awareness, which is beyond words and thoughts, which is without explanation. Tanga Bogeta Chik Shui, that charges him gum siguro, and gum jokes, gum, such charges him with that gum, candice gum words, raw. That charges him gum to Tambo, Jamruchi, any lamin and you go the Mandu Roge Gilu Sula, Tambo Jamruchi, Tini Gandel Hajima, Maso. Any Sosotango lamin and you, Tini Dojis and Begum, Chatse, Mandra. Lamin Jamdo, Lamin Nenju, Chad, Mandra, Dojisim Begomdici, Mondo Hide, Yabuji, Song, that's also that Chajisimbo, Gom Gotoy, Gotuya, Gomjauta, Ma Gamba Doji Chirunjin, Teni, Lunam should do Nunchin, Tuduchin, then Gomjauta, Carso. And the Benjin Losan Jujingi. Benji Losan Jujing Tini, Chajishimo Tavena, Sondo, Sem Tini, Lulujin, and Casodan Naso, Sem Lulujin, and to Sim Lulujin, Lulujin, the Deoris, Gomja. Aling in Jitolia Chigawi. So, the path, now I'm going to talk about path Muhammad. So we are going to practice Mahamudra. and we need to talk about how to practice. As I said before, if you don't practice, just talking is not enough. So you have to practice. So then how do we practice? So according Kagyupa lineage and the Gelupa lineage, according Mahamudra tradition, we have to do preliminary practice. Preliminary practice. The Tibetan word is mondo, okay? Preliminary practice. Without preliminary practice, without mondo, it is not possible to obtain realization. And so we can do mondo, foundation, preliminary practice, and every day. So before you do Mahamudra practice, you set up altar, do prostrations first. Then you sit down on the cushion, sit down on the cushion, sit cross your leg, keep your back spine straight, and relax your body, relax your mind. And then first you take refuge. So you've done 3 prostrations already, right? Prostration. Then you do take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha and the Guru, and that's refuge. Then you do Guru Yoga. According to Gelug tradition, we do Ganden Lagyama, the land of the 100 deities, the short, concise Guru Yoga of Lama Tsongkhapa. So you have done prostration, refuge, Guru Yoga, and then you recite the Miksema mantra, Lama Tsongkhapa mantra, and then after that you do Vajrasattva mantra recitation, minimum 21 times, Vajrasattva mantra. After Lama Tsongkhapa mantra, you do Vajrasattva mantra. After you say the Vajrasattva mantra, then you do mandala offering. Okay, so you can do mandala offering before Lama Tsongkhapa mantra, and after, doesn't matter. So you now you have all the foundations: prostration, refuge, Guru Yoga, Vajrasattva practice, mandala offering. All there's a 5 of them, and you can do all that within half hour and 20 minutes. So it doesn't take very long. If you are organized, everything. If you do it precisely and organized, you can do it. Everything is possible, durable, and doable. Okay, and everything takes time and effort. Organize. We need to organize. Our Dharma practice needs to be prepared and organized. And this is important. So you do a foundation practice. So after the mandala offering, and then you sit down, sit cross your leg, relax. First you breathe in and out, and then you focus your awareness, focus your mind on the mind. So when we do Mahamudra meditation, the subject is mind and the object is also mind. Gomsagi yuji yorwa yude karesen yude semre semki semla gomguyata gomjegi gomgenda gomsa yuniga tenes semre ta otusi nanzo tande chiyan tene chulu genda tene chikchi yora kaisho semmota sigdo semmota. Certain Tibetan Buddhist tradition, we have a word called looking at the mind, looking at the face of the mind, or observing the mind, or looking at the mind, or pointing at the mind. There's a different word. Pointing at the mind, looking at the mind, or looking at the face of the mind. And it's all same thing, right? Also, although the mind has no face, other than your own face, there is no face. But that's just a way of saying it. And so in English, we can say resting the mind in a natural state. That so there's a Tibetan word means ngalso. Ngalso means resting your mind. So this word is very good word. Just like our body need to be resting, right? And otherwise you're doing too much, then you're exhausted and tired. The body doesn't work. You need to rest, you need to lie down, you take a nap, and then go to bed, and take a small short nap. Like, well, nap is short anyway, but you have a afternoon siesta, and then refreshing your brain, refreshing your mind, which is good. I try to do that myself. I found it very helpful. And then you wake up and you meditate and do your practice or read or write, whatever you want to do, activities. And you need to rest. The body needs to rest. The body is not made to go on too long. It's even the machinery, like cars and all computers, everything crash. And if you use too many times, and they need to reboot or refreshed or renewed or tune up. In other words, tune up, right? And every 6,000 kilometers or 6 months, you have to tune up your car. That's what the mechanics tells you, and like that. So, okay, the body need to rest, and likewise, mind need to rest. But ngaso say the shira ketchum but chik yaw shibdo ngaso de wato zubola ngaso over. And the same ngaso words. Guys, and the same zubu ngaso maso na zubu tanche do. Same ngaso majeva ina majena same tanche do. Same tanche to same way soya koya se mea vaji same move. And tenju meva kasa so I'm saying in Tibetan tradition, usually we don't use the word resting mind. We usually use resting the body. But from the Dharma point of view, Dharma terminology, resting mind is very important. And because the mind need to have a refuge, and mind has to stay quiet. And this is why we practice calm, abiding mind. This is why we practice samatha, calm, abiding mind. Tibetan word is shine. So this is good word. So resting mind and shine are become close. Tatanange sem ngeso shua do tena shine ni de chi tumbu yor kan shine se de karisu sem shiwache tapo maji chi telaso maji chi tenjin bewo maji chi sem shiwu chi sem leche sem shiwa ene ne se de sem sache chigla yu chigla ne ya ju maju mande maji chi tu de ya wo yor su ngota ngaso se de chibare. So also resting your mind. Here we talk about resting mind in a natural state. What does this mean? Well, you stop going to the past, stop going to the future, stop analyzing, stop thinking, stop organizing, stop talking to yourself, stop talking to others, stop subconscious gossip. Stop subconscious gossip. Do you know the word subconscious gossip? Everybody knows what gossip is, but there's a word called subconscious gossip. Subconscious gossip is in your own mind, talking to yourself, thinking, oh, what shall I eat breakfast tomorrow? What do I eat dinner tonight? Why should I say this? What should I write? What should I do? Somebody has told me this, somebody's doing that. So I wonder what he's doing, what she's doing, what's up. It's kind of like so much inside dialogue, kind of, even though you are quiet, sitting there, just dialogue and talking inside. This is called subconscious gossip. So it could be gossip. It doesn't sound like gossip. Usually gossip is two people talking, right? And something negative that's about somebody else. That's a gossip, right? And but you can do that inside in your mind, subconscious conscious gossip. So stop all these things. Everything, leave everything behind. Just simply here, be here and now, resting the mind in natural state. Why do we do this? Why not? Because our mind is mm, our mind is exhausted. A lot of times our mind is exhausted because we do too much, we think too much, we talk too much, and our mind is just restless and like a monkey mind, baboon mind, chimpanzee mind, monkey mind, always busy and exhausted. Our mind get totally exhausted. So when your mind is exhausted, then uh, not only it becomes a problem for everyday life, for doing whatever worldly things, but at the same time also, when your mind is exhausted, it is almost impossible, difficult to gain spiritual realizations. You see, even reciting mantra is difficult. When your mind is exhausted, trying to say a mantra, Om Dari Om Dari, all of a sudden, Om Anbeme, Om Anbeme, Om Vajrabani, oops. I was supposedly do Tara mantra. Here I'm now saying Om Anbeme. And keep saying Om Anbeme, and oops, I'm saying Vajrapani mantra. What happened? But never mind, it's all same anyways. All the Buddhas are the same, so it doesn't matter. It's jumping from one Buddha to another Buddha, jumping from one mantra to another, doesn't matter. It's all same. You can sort of make that conclusion. But the thing is, because your mind is so tired, and you just sort of lose it. You're losing it, basically, losing it. Too tired, You can sort of do the mantras, commitments, and then go to bed. And well, it's a good time to go to bed. Should go to bed. And so what I'm saying is when the mind is exhausted and you can't even do the mantras properly or correct mantras. And so we need to do this, what we call resting mind. That's same also say the Karista Guru Sena. In the same debate, Tinjumbe was some Jumbe would dum and the Mungu, Jenny, a lawyer, Churchin, any Jenu word, Kandun the New Kangaya Tuche, and then Kandun the Jingdon, Savage on the Massavage on the Karindum Dachi, so calendar the Rio today, Yabuji Matache Matuchi Kanga, does it to Katuchi Chenu, what the diligent Sembe Tanchazaro. Same time Machevich, that Karsode, Tabla Karjosana, Niabuko, Kalayabusa, and Tinjubi Majevache, any Yamlea watch, Gomia watch, Chajichambo gom, Shinegom, Chajichambo Karsote, Shinegi Chajichimbota, Duni Chajichimbota, and Nagi Chajichim, Daman the Yoro, Tango. Shinegi Chajishimogo. So first you do Samatha Mahamudra practice and then do Vipassana Mahamudra practice. And then at some point in future you can do Tantric Mahamudra. But first one has to do Samatha Mahamudra and resting the mind and looking at your mind and resting your mind. And stop going to the past, stop going to the future. Stay here now. So Telopa, Mahasiddha Telopa is the great teacher of Mahamudra. Telopa said, your mind. First, when you see your mind is like the Ganges River that is coming down from the Valley of Flowers, from Badrinath and Kedarnath, Rishikesh, Haridwar, and down, rushing through the mountains of Himalayas. This is the nature of your mind. Very busy, strong, powerful, busy. Then your mind, the more you meditate, your mind is relaxed, calm, peaceful, and smooth, and nice, like the Ganges River flowing down through the Indian plain and through, say, Ayodhya, Allahabad, Varanasi, and so on, so on. Slowly flowing, beautiful river. And then gradually it go down to the Bay of Bengal and then merge with the Indian Ocean, merge with Bay of Bengal. It will merge with Indian Ocean. Then all become one ocean, one taste, salty water. Anyway, so it's a beautiful river, the mother of river, Mother Ganga Ma. In India, we say Ganga Ma, mother Ganga River. She is the mother. Why she's the mother? Because she is the source of all the beautiful farmlands and trees, plants, and food chain, and provider of all the goodness, fish, and food for human beings, food for animals, and food for the ocean, and source of food for creatures who live in the ocean. And this is why we call the mother Ganga Ma. And a wonderful river, right? So Tilopa said, first your mind is like that, very busy, noisy. So then slowly, as you meditate, your mind becomes calm, peaceful. You experience certain amount of samatha, vipassana, samatha Mahamudra, and then slowly you can practice. You can move your practice from one step, from Samatha Mahamudra, and then into Vipassana Mahamudra. Your next step. Then from there, you can move on to Tantric Mahamudra. For now, Samatha Mahamudra, and so you sit, relax, resting your mind in a natural state. Okay, so it's almost 5 o'clock. So we're sorry we're a little late. I'd like to apologize. People have been waiting because we had a little issue here with YouTube password and so forth. So we'll do short meditation and then have time for question and answer. So this time, the gom tung tung jagi. Ngaso de wato basho se ngaso de semlolo je ngaso je ne semota segoroda ujena chaji chimbo that karso de yishena mendu chaji chimbo ngondo chaji chimbo ngondo ani gomlolo gomji jagi. So we will sit. Please sit comfortably. Keep your spine straight, and you put your right hand on the top of the left hand. Do the mudra of meditative echo pose. Mudra of meditative echo pose. And when we do Mahamudra meditation, Samatha Mahamudra, Vipassana Mahamudra, you don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to. But if you like to close your eyes, you can close your eyes slightly. Usually you don't have to close your eyes. And just relax and breathe in and out. And resting your mind in a natural state, resting. So what that means is just be here and now. Stop going to the past. Stop going to the future. Stop thinking. Stop analyzing. Just be. Resting the mind in a natural state. Whenever your thought, your mind is gone to the past, gone to the future, going somewhere else, make a note, make a mental note, and bring back to here and now, resting mind in a natural state. Tandu slowly shirona. And it same day, kasakalando, maumbe gine chu sona karinata, some damada kone, maumba call you some some quiet ingro ngema debe tini ta chawa karin chi karinda chung yana tindi kol debala mando debe je macho maombe du mesu ane yan chen damanda te mademba che ta lolo chi du che tan du shuronas ane da gom jorana ane ngasorona lo shurona. Any so sem de gom jangingi chibate semre, so sem de gom jaksa de you de semre, otus churana. So please stay your mind in a natural state, resting your mind in a natural way, resting your mind in natural state. Thank you. I'd like to say a few words before the question and answer. So we sent the introduction to copy of the introduction to Mahamudra composed by myself, and also supplication to the lineage gurus of Mahamudra. So when you practice yourself at home in the morning, first thing in the morning, I advise you should do praises and receiving blessing from the lineage gurus of the Guru Mahamudra. It is also posted at the website gandenforthewest.com. It starts Namo Mahamudraya, homage to Prajnaparamita, the great mother of all the Buddhas, and so on. Okay, thank you. Question answer?
Yes. If anybody has any questions, please.
If you have a question, don't hesitate. Welcome.
Peter Morgan asks, when doing Mahamudra meditation, what do we do if we're getting drowsy?
Drowsy?
Falling asleep?
Well, solution for that, same as when you do samatha meditation or lamrim meditation, if you feel drowsy, then you should stand up, do walking meditation, or go to the bathroom, wash your face with cold water, or have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and then go out, get some fresh air, maybe do some prostrations, do some exercise, and then you can go back and sit down and meditate. That will change, and you'll find your mind less drowsiness and dullness.
Good. Thank you. Someone asks, how long should the Shamatha Mahamudra meditation be?
How long?
Yeah, how long should we make it?
20 minutes. First you meditate 20 minutes, then have a break and do something else. And when I say do something else, I don't mean like do some worldly things. And then, have a cup of tea or go walk, do some prostration and so on, and you go back. Or if you are busy working, and then you could, depends on your time, you could minimum 20 minutes first thing in the morning, and then do another session in the afternoon, or maybe in the evening, 20 minutes. So usually 20 minutes is good time, not too long and not too short.
Good, thank you. Alex Teo asks, how should we deal with the thoughts or emotions that arise during meditations?
First, you have to recognize the thought that arises to find out what kind of thought is, right? And then you look at that thought that arises. Look at that thought closely. And then that, when I say look, observation, observing that thought that arises, this observation is Mahamudra meditation. So that observation itself becomes the remedy for that thought that you have, and thought that you don't want, or say emotion, whatever. And then the observation itself becomes remedy. And then that thought will drop itself, drop or fall itself, or disappear itself. So most important thing is you need observation, observing mind. You don't need any other remedies other than the observation. And you don't need to do something else to get rid of that thought. The observation is the remedy. It says in the Mahamudra teaching, remedy is itself. In the Lojong teaching also said the same thing. Remedy is the itself. What it means, the awareness itself is the remedy for that negative thought or that emotion.
Is that applying as well to emotions, and is what you're saying? Yeah. Because Oya asks, can they be a pure emotion of the present moment?
Say again.
So Oya asks, when the emotion arises during Mahamudra, is it that they are from the past or the present, or can they be purely in the moment, an emotion in the moment? Can that be Mahamudra?
No, I think your question is a little bit mixed up. You're not very clear. And so when your question is not clear, then I can't give you a clear answer. And there is a saying, someone says to Osho, and I want you to give me perfect answer. The Osho said, well, you ask me perfect question, then I'll give you a perfect answer. Otherwise, how can I give you a perfect answer? Your question is not perfect. And so your question is not really clear. When you say pure emotion, there is no such pure emotions. Emotions have a negative connotation.
Okay, thank you. Pedro asks, what is the sign or signs that you have done a good Shamatha Mahamudra meditation?
What is the signs?
Yeah, what is the sign that you have done?
Yes, that's a good question. So signs of good Mahamudra meditation or good Samatha, good Samatha meditation,
yeah, Shamatha meditation.
It doesn't come quickly. It doesn't happen soon, right? It takes time. So sometimes it it happens quickly. It depends on state of your mind, right? So you talked about the sign, right?
That's right.
The sign is during the meditation, your mind is stay calm and doesn't go up and down, and your mind is calm, peaceful, no obstacles, any kind of mental emotions, and very smooth. The Tibetan word is shine, peaceful, and it remains peacefully during the meditation. And after the meditation, you feel in your heart, you feel the sense of almost like a gratitude, feel very peaceful. After the meditation, feel very peaceful, feel very almost like some people would like to use the word blissful. And I don't use so much about the word blissful, but if you like, you can say feel kind of blissful, calm, and also sometimes happiness comes. Sometimes what we call mental suppleness. Suppleness in Tibetan word we say Lu Xinjiang and Sem Xinjiang. Xinjiang is Tibetan word. Lu Sem Xinjiang means physical suppleness. Sem Xinjiang is mind suppleness. Suppleness, there's an example for suppleness. Maybe suppleness is English word. The Tibetan word Xinjiang, there's an example. It's like you're holding dove, little bird, inside your hand. It's so soft, so light, right? Or you're holding, inside you're holding ball of wool, okay, holding wool, very soft and light, very nice, right? And you almost don't want to drop it, put it somewhere. You go, oh, this is nice. I like this. It feels so nice, right? Or you're holding a dove, so cute, beautiful bird. I had this kind of experience. I was holding fish in my hand, not outside the water. Of course, I don't want to do that, but inside the water, and I was holding the fish in my hand inside the water. It's so He's so smooth and light because of the water, and he's happy. The fish himself is happy, and because he's not outside the water, he has no problem breathing. Somehow he likes my hand because I've been feeding him or her, and we have this sort of relationship. You had that experience when we were hiking the other day on the river, right? And how's your feeling? How do you feel in your hand?
Soft.
Yeah, soft. And it's soft and very sweet. You know, this fish is very soft and it's sweet. He likes you to hold it. This kind of feeling, you know, like afterwards feels so nice that you feel like I want to go and back meditate. So this kind of feeling is a result, good sign of good samatha meditation.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Thank you. Gabby asks, when observing the mind looking at mind, does that awareness happen simultaneously, or does that awareness realize the mind is looking at the mind a split second after?
Does that mind happen simultaneously?
Yes, when the mind is observing mind,
right?
Does it happen instantaneously, or does it happen a split second later? Just like, oh, now I'm realizing it.
Usually afterwards, preceding, we call it preceding mind, and not the very same moment. No, not possible. And you cannot cut sharp sword. Cannot cut itself, no matter how the sword is sharp. Knife is sharp. It cannot cut itself, right? You can cut anything else, but it can't cut itself. Like that, the mind cannot experience the mind simultaneously. Only very preceding moment, second moment, we call the tail end of the tiger. You see the tail end of the tiger, tail end of the mouse, or tail end of the little gecko, you see, and a little skink, little beautiful blue tail. You see, oh, there's skink. He's gone now. And you see, that thought came. What's that? What that realization? Now, first time, I got glimpse of realization of emptiness, shunyata. So afterwards, it happens right after.
Okay. Thank you. James asks, when physical pain, for example, a tooth pain, holds the mind's attention obsessively, what would be the remedy for that?
Say again?
So when you're in meditation and you're in pain.
Same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be the remedy for that?
Remedy for the pain of your teeth?
When you're in meditation. So you're meditating, but you're so focused on the pain of your tooth that you can't meditate, and you end up meditating on the tooth pain.
Yeah, the old method is put clove. Hold the clove between your teeth. Put a clove here and then meditate. Samsara of teeth. Samsara of teeth.
Mhm.
Yeah, the old method is called clove. Clove, okay.
And then what if you're in pain, like in your leg or your hip, or what do you do with that feeling?
Take ibuprofen. Take Tylenol. What else you do? Put some Anacol cream. Put some Tromil. And but it's not instant. It doesn't go away.
Mhm.
So okay, it doesn't go away. But as you know, I don't have to say all these things.
Mm.
And it doesn't go away. Even you take Tylenol or ibuprofen, it takes about 5, maybe minimum 10 minutes. And but what do you do? The question, what do you? Your mind is going to the pain.
Yeah.
Then you say to your, according Zen tradition, you should be like Zen practitioner. So you say, okay, I like this pain.
Mm.
I want this pain. Okay, this pain teach me how to practice patience. Pain in the neck. Okay, I won't use the other words. Pain in my knees. Pain in my ankle. My knees hurting. Don't say to yourself, I don't like meditating. Don't say that. I got pain in my forehead. I got pain in my neck. This is good. This is purify my karma. Okay, let's have pain. I want to have a pain. What the heck? Face it.
Mm.
Let's face
Engage it.
Son of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun. Okay, you say that to yourself. Then you have less pain.
Mm-hmm.
Get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Don't worry. Just do it. You know, Zen people. I know one monk, Zen monk. I met him in Nelson. Then I went to his temple in Japan at Shuzenji, and he has a little temple there by himself. He's very proud of himself. So this is my temple. And well, he didn't say this is my temple. This is the temple I live in. It used to be a nunnery, and they abandoned. And then his abbot sent him. They say, "You look after this temple." So he said to me, "No heating. Wintertime is like minus 10, 12, 15, snowing outside, sitting there, and no heating." And his Roshi said, "Don't close the windows." And sitting there, and then he said, he's dripping, his nose will start dripping. Okay. And then he's got sore throat, a little bit headache, nose dripping. And sometimes even the whatever is dripping, what's the English word?
Snot.
Snot is turning into ice. Now here you become a almost frozen yogi. Think about that. Milarepa sit in the cave, only wear skirt, cotton skirt, cotton shawl, sit in the cave. Of course, Milarepa practice Tummo, Tibetan yogis, they practice Tummo. But I don't know, you can do Tummo or not. But see, you're in James, is this same James in Australia? Probably.
James Vander.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you see, you say Rinpoche much love, perfect. Yeah, okay. Good on you, Mike. You live in Australia. What are you complaining about? Cold. There's really not that cold unless you are in Tasmania or up in the snowy mountains in wintertime. Not that cold. Anyway, it's all relative anyway. We are here different. But anyway, so when you have a pain, it doesn't go away. Then you just say, okay, this is teach me how to practice patience and perseverance. Good for me. This is an opportunity to practice lojong. Okay. So I'll tell you my story. When I was a teenage, I sit in front of my teacher every night, and we meditate together, do sadhana together, and sometimes my teacher asked me to repeat the text that I memorized. So I offer the text. He looks at the text. I repeat what I memorized, 5 page, 6 page, whatever. Madhyamika Avatara or whatever. I repeat. In our room, my teacher's room, no heating. We don't have heating. No wood stove, no electric, nothing. Cold. and there was a draft coming through the walls. There was draft coming up from the floor. And I've been sitting there for day after day and day after. I was a teenager. I already got a pain in my knees. And sometimes between my kneecap and between my knee, I hear like some kind of cold, It's painful. But I sit there. And my teacher, he was, in his late 50s, 60s. I was a teenage. I said to myself, he can sit like this. Why can't I sit? I'm going to sit here. And I said, this is all purification. I just did. I was with my teacher for 9 years.
Wonderful. Good discipline.
Okay, last question.
Last question?
Yes.
Okay, Jenny Tetbut asks, how do I learn to just watch strong negative feelings or thoughts between sessions if they don't arise when practicing Mahamudra? Or am I just sitting experiencing laxity? It doesn't feel like I'm suppressing it.
So between sessions, if strong emotions doesn't come up,
if they do arise,
or they do arise,
yeah.
And then what?
And then what do you do with that emotion?
Observe that emotion, just observing, and that's the solution.
Same thing.
Yep, same thing. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for appreciating.
Thank you very much. See you next Tuesday, same time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.